Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cheryl Koehn. I'm the founder and president of Arthritis Consumer Experts, and one of the organizations that powers the Arthritis Broadcast Network. We're here at the Canadian Rheumatology Association annual meeting, as well as the Arthritis Health Professions Association annual meeting. And we couldn't be happier to be joined here this afternoon by Marinka Twilt, who is a pediatric rheumatologist, one of those fearless docs who look after our most vulnerable patient population, you might argue.
Yes.
She's an assistant professor in the Department of Pediatrics at Alberta's Children's Hospital, and she is going to be in the CRA Great Debate tonight. So there's some promo for that, and I'm not going to say another word about it because it's very hush-hush. But we're really thrilled to have you here with us. Thank you for taking time out of what we know is a really busy schedule. I think it's always a good place to start is at the beginning.
Yeah.
Tell us why pediatric rheumatology.
Yes.
What sucked you in?
Me in? Yeah, it was actually very early on. So I'm from the Netherlands. So in the fourth year of med school, we have to do a research project.
Yeah.
And one of my sisters had a friend who had juvenile idiopathic arthritis, and there was a research TMJ question that we could answer and you could apply to. So I thought, oh, that might be really interesting. So I applied for that research job, and then I got it, and then it ended up being a PhD. So it was totally not what I meant to do. So that's
Isn't that life?
Yeah,
Isn't that life? Yeah.
I always said, like, I'm never going to do a PhD, and of course I'm the only one of my friends who actually has a PhD. So that was the fun
Do you rub
part.
that in?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
good.
every time I have a dinner with them, I'm like, you do know that I am. No. But so that's how I came. So I did it already in fourth year of med school. Then we do 2 years of internships, and then you have to go to your residency. But before my residency, I did my PhD. And then I went into residency for pediatrics, and then I moved to Toronto to do my fellowship in sick kids.
Wow. You know, I don't think our audience members have any idea actually the length of time it takes to become who you are, especially with, you know, your doctoral degree.
Yeah.
Like, and then do the medical school training, and then do the specialty training. Like,
Yes.
so how many years did you say that is?
So
Start to finish.
Yeah, so I mean it's a little bit different because I'm from the Netherlands. So,
Yeah.
So medical school is 6 years in the Netherlands. So
Yeah.
we can go straight from high school.
Oh, you
so
can.
we don't do it in undergrad.
Okay.
So we're 18 when you go to university, and then it takes 6 years to do your med school. Then it takes 5 years to do your pediatric residency, and it takes 2.5 years to do your pediatric rheumatology fellowship.
Wow.
And then I did a PhD in between, which usually takes between 3 and 5 years to do as well. So I was quite quick. I did 3.5 years. But yeah, overall you're old and retiring by the time you're done.
But you're like a Doogie Howser. You're like, what, 18 years old now?
That's what they say. But,
Yeah.
that's the cream.
It's those good Scandinavian cheese.
Yes.
Well, that's quite a journey. It's really great to have you in Canada. How long have you been here practicing?
So I've done my fellowship, then I actually moved back to the UK first, and then to Denmark, and then I came back to Calgary. So and I've been in Calgary now since August 2015.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
And
so
we're not letting you leave, just so
I know
you
I'm not allowed anymore.
You're staying within our borders. Yeah, we've got a little homing device on you. I just in thinking about what you do for a living, at the end of the day, it's to treat, as I said, our most vulnerable patients with juvenile idiopathic arthritis and other types of juvenile musculoskeletal disease. What is it that's most challenging, and what is it that's most rewarding? I suspect they're linked, but
they are. Yeah. So the most challenging is the patient that is very sick.
Yeah.
Especially we have more and more new diseases that we find out are linked actually to juvenile arthritis, or at least so we know more and more about the pathophysiology of arthritis, and we also find out that there's more and more diseases that have sort of like the same inflammatory pathway. And these diseases become more and more the area of expertise of pediatric rheumatology, these auto-inflammatory diseases. And the problem, but also the beauty of it, is they're complicated. They're very complicated. And these patients usually present all of a sudden on the ICU with either renal crisis or other very severe disease symptoms. And then it takes a while before you can actually find out what is going on. But then when you sort of like cure them again and make them better, and they can do whatever a kid that is 6 months to do, then you're really rewarded for what
no
they're
kidding.
doing.
Now, when you use the word cure, it's always a tricky word to use in our community because, of course, we don't know biologically how to turn it off or how not to make it come again. So when you use the word cure, explain to our Facebook audience what you mean, Marinka.
So it's more to actually bring the disease in remission.
Okay.
So, and usually what we talk about nowadays is remission on medication or remission off medication.
Okay.
So, you know, we thrive to go for remission off medication, but sometimes it's really hard, and it's better sometimes to be in remission on medication for a very long time, but have no symptoms, be able to do anything, and to try to get off medication. And we know the risk is really high to flare, and especially with these new diseases that are mostly genetic diseases, it's probably impossible at this moment to stop medication.
Which is a really hard message, not only to obviously give a child, but the parents. When we talked this morning with Kelsey, she, as a person with JIA herself, she explained, I think so beautifully, that, you know, kind of the catastrophe that happens in family, but also how it brings families together. And I imagine, you know, being a parent with a child who has juvenile arthritis, and you think, oh gosh, I don't want to give them those medicines. So it's hard information to deliver, I imagine, as the physician.
It's hard information to deliver, and it's also still hard that we still don't know exactly who's going to do well and who's not going to do well.
On medication.
On medication.
Do you usually start them on, like, patient to patient to patient? Do you generally start kids on the same sort of protocol?
So it depends a little bit, because the juvenile arthritis has so many different, right? So RA is a little different because usually it's sort of like this same.
Methotrexate,
methotrexate, and it's a little different in juvenile arthritis, but it is sort of like the same step way that you start. So you start with your non-steroidals, such as ibuprofen, and then you go to your methotrexate and your interarticular joint injections. And from there you go to the more newer medications, such as the biologics. So we do have a little bit of that pathway, but there are forms of juvenile arthritis where we sort of like skip the first two and we go straight to biologics.
Really?
Because we know that they react much better to that, and also the long-term consequences and the acute stop of the disease happens with the new medications.
So when you have that conversation, I'm just interested, the one where you know the patient, the child, is going to do better on an advanced therapy sooner rather than later. What's that conversation sound like with a parent?
Yeah, so it's really trying to explain sort of like what the possible damage could be if you don't do it. So you really have to go over risks and benefits. So luckily now we have much more data, long-term data of the biologics, but especially when they first came around 2000, it was really hard to sort of like explain what the benefits and the risks could be, because we didn't really know what the risk was going to be on the long term. And now we have like 15 years of data, so we do know they're very safe to use.
And quite a number of them have indications now formally in juvenile idiopathic arthritis, which is terrific. It means our regulator, Health Canada, has said yes. So it's not what you commonly hear as off-label. It's actually indicated for these diseases that you and your colleagues across the country treat. Tell us a little bit about your work with your colleagues across Canada. Do you find yourselves networking and sharing information together? Do you do research projects together? Tell us just a little bit, Marinka, about how your community works. We want to see the puppet strings, right?
No, so actually what is really exciting, we just got a grant where we nationally will look at who can we stop the medication, and what, you know, who can we predict who is going to do well if we stop after 6 months, who will have to treat for longer. So, and that's going to be a Canadian-wide pediatric rheumatology study, so that's great. So
how many patients do you think you'll try to enroll in
as many as we can.
Really?
So so some of it we can do already with the patients that already are diagnosed, but some will need new diagnosis, of course. So we'll try, and that's the great thing, that it's like nationally that we can recruit from every center.
Are you going to try to build then a registry?
Yes.
That's the idea?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Very cool. I mean, from a scientific and a research perspective, I understand the value of registries. I'm not so sure, you know, patients out there and parents do. Maybe talk about what the benefit is on the patient side.
So I think we struggled. So I'm from the Netherlands, originally, and I started there the Arthritis and Biologicals in Children registry. So that was the first registry on pediatric patients on biologics. It started in 2000 when the biologics just came on the market, and the parents had the same question. Like, it's great that you're doing it,
yeah, but
and
what's in it for my
what's
child?
in it for me,
yeah.
right? And we were like, understandably, what's in is that that you actually got the drug, because that was one of the at that moment one of the requisites to get the drug.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that we can actually, with the data, look back and see who did well, who didn't do well, and what were the characteristics of these different groups, and can we predict with that data, maybe not anymore for your child, but hopefully for the next child, how they're going to do. Sometimes it's not unfortunately won't help you anymore, but it will hopefully help the next generation of patients.
I'm really happy you brought that forward, Marinka, because I think the general population, and even to some extent our arthritis community as patients, we don't understand the power of altruism.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear about people donating, organs and donating money and things like that, but actually donating your data
is very powerful.
Yeah. We have a survey currently running where we're trying to find out whether Canadians, well, first of all, what they know about big data or big sets of health information, and what it can do for people or not, and whether they're on side to have unidentified, so anonymized data available to researchers like you in big numbers, so that you can say, well, with child A, who has this profile, here's what we think we should do based on
the data of 300 other children
exactly.
that were exactly the same.
So I'm not quite sure, and hopefully they will after this interview, will understand the power of these registries and what you do with the information. I think is super, super important.
And I think, to be honest, that the pediatric population is quite aware, because I have to say,
well, you're a smaller number.
Yeah,
so.
and the patient and their parents are usually so willing to actually contribute. I think because it is children, people are much more, willing to help the next child, because everybody always, it's always hard to see your child suffering.
Devastating. It's devastating.
And I think that helps in our case a little bit more maybe than if it's an adult, because I have to say our recruitment, the amount of patients that want to be included in studies, it's amazing.
Well, congratulations. I think it has something to do with your incredibly enthusiastic kindness.
And we're a kind bunch of pediatric
I know so many of you, and I just am always blown away by how your profession, in particular, your segment of the CRA membership, has a very special charge. You have a very special job with very special people, and I think it takes the right personality to be in that. It's like when we used to, well, you're too young to know Marcus Welby, MD, but the old family doc who walk around with the bag and
knows everybody
and knows everybody's name, and everybody calls them doc. You hope that that's actually the approach that people feel they can take to you.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to just ask quickly before we go to our audience and answer a few questions. Is at this meeting, I know it's not over. I know there's still another 2 days left of learning. But what are you excited about? What have you heard? What are your colleagues talking about? The buzz in the hallway that our viewers would also like to hear.
So the great thing, I think, is I went to a workshop this morning about adult Still's disease, which is systemic GA. And it's very exciting to see that things that for pediatric rheumatologists are actually quite known and quite well known is new for adult onset Still's disease, and it was really nice to see the interaction between adult and pediatric rheumatologists and learning from each other, and I think that's the buzz that you overall here have. We're sort of like a community. We know each other, we learn from each other, we're not shy to ask each other. Nobody's going to say, how can you not know? Hey, Johnny. So nobody's really doing that, and that makes it really a nice environment where everybody feels free to just ask whatever they want to ask. And I think that's the nice thing of the CRA, because it's large enough that it can be scientific, but it's small enough that it's still a safe environment.
There's only 400 or so. Adult and pediatric combined. So you kind of have to hang together, don't you?
And if you go to like the big conferences like ACR, there's like 40,000 people there.
Wow.
You almost have to make like an appointment with somebody to make sure that you are not alone at lunch, because you don't see each other, right? Because there's so many people walking around, and here, you know, every step you set, you see somebody that it's so long ago that I've spoken to you. So it's really sort of like a nice, homey feeling here.
That's lovely, and we feel that as well as patients who are in leadership roles in Canada. We feel part of the family too, and we thank you for that. The membership here has been really tremendous to us and welcomed us with open arms and said, come on in and get us to talk to your audience. And on that note, I'm going to ask Anita, do we have any questions?
For people who want to participate in sharing their data, how would they go about with that?
So sharing data as in like they would be in like
enrolling?
Yeah, so all academic pediatric rheumatologists, for instance, are involved. So go to your pediatric rheumatologist, say you heard about it, that you're interested, and they can give you more information.
Is there a name of the registry or the project?
It's just a national registry at the moment that we're doing, and the study is, it's called UCAN at the moment, but
Okay,
you can
so go to your pediatric rheumatologist and say to them, I want to get involved in UCAN.
Yeah.
And if they don't know about it, you better tell them to talk to Marinka.
Yeah.
Another question?
It's not starting yet, but it will start soon.
But that's okay. Start asking now. You want to get on the list, right?
That's it. You want to be prepared.
Exactly.
What's your best tip you would give to someone living with JIA?
With JIA, try to do everything you can, because I think, don't feel shy to tell people you have JIA. We just heard this morning from Kelsey that there's still a lot of people who sort of like feel anxious, that they think that maybe people will judge them differently. Don't be ashamed about it. Be proud of who you are, and be proud of what you can do and what you can't do, but you can hopefully do with some help or some assistance. And I think there's a lot of people who are more than willing to help out if they know what is going on.
Especially a child or a teen, someone transitioning from teen to adult clinic, it's tough.
It's tough, and you go to university or to college, and everything changes at the same time. Your doctor changes, your college changes. So don't feel ashamed. Just tell people what is going on. Everybody, even if you have no JIA, you have something else. Everybody has something, even if you're healthy.
I think that's a really good attitude. Everybody has something.
There's always something going on. Either the home front is unstable because your parents are divorcing and you feel really sad, or there's something else, you have a broken leg, or you have something else. So there's always something going on. So be yourself and be proud of being yourself.
And to parents out there, what would you say? And in particular about social media. For kids? So there are kids on social media who have JIA. Are there any special precautions? Is it a good thing, a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing as long as you take the pathways of the known patient associations. Don't go to a Facebook page that you don't know who's actually looking at it or controlling it, but do it in a
selling through it.
Selling through it. So do it in a safe environment. But there are a lot of organizations, either by patients or by patient organizations, that help you with having a forum or make meetings, annual meetings, or walks, the Arthritis Walk. So if you want to be involved, there's so many options to do it in a safe environment. That's the only thing. Make sure it's a safe environment, and don't go just Googling arthritis and then end up in an obscure Facebook page where they're trying to sell you fish oil that will cure you for life.
Beware the word cure. That's why I wanted to clarify it earlier, because it does.
There is no cure.
We're preyed upon by so many companies that are in it for profit and profit only. So you do need to be careful. We're going to have to let Dr. Twilt go. Marinka, you've been so fantastic. Thank you. Not let you go as in fire you or anything.
No.
You were fantastic. But to say thank you very, very much. We wish you the best of luck. We can't wait for the big debate.
Yes.
The great debate. We really thank our Facebook fans, followers, viewers for joining us. We hope you enjoyed our time with Marinka, and if you have any further questions, feel free to shoot them over to us via Facebook. And of course, this video will remain on the Facebook page of the Arthritis Broadcast Network so that you can revisit it if you like. She's so cheery looking, I know you're going to want to watch it again.